Alright, we're back in the garage. This will be video number 4. I think I said last one was video 4. But this is video number 4 on our New Year's project here. 1983 ATC Honda 200E. Coming back together here, bit by bit. Just came back from the Honda shop there, picked up a few parts. I mentioned in the last video that I might have a hack for these stubborn front shock assemblies. As you know, this is the second year of the big red, and in front ends on the 82, 83, and 84 200 ES big red, you know, 99% of the machines, even this one, so you know, this is pretty much a true example of a survivor, as we were saying. But even this one had an excessive amount of play in the front end. So it all started from well, I purchased this about a couple of weeks ago. I guess you'll see on the previous videos, but we got it all cleaned up, detailed, carburetors clean, jets, stuff, and gone right through it pretty much. So I figured the back brakes worked fine, the front brakes weren't so good. Cable was seized, so I managed to get the cable on seized, adjusted the front brakes, and was just getting ready to go for a little ride, you know, a preliminary trip around the yard. And I held on the front brake, and you know, just to test to see if the front wheel was locking up or whatever, and it was fine. But put the brake on, and the tire stayed stationary, and the machine came ahead about 3 inches. So it was horrible, right? You couldn't even, if you did try to use your front brake, you would be, that much play there would create a noise, and you know, your pivot would all be off. So, and it also would create a locking of your front wheel, and then plus the tire then would lock up, and you know, the whole weight of the machine was coming behind you, then would push the tire forward. So it was, you know, it wasn't a good setup all around. Now I wouldn't mind if it was an older machine, but this, like you say, this is all original 83. Well, except for the seat cover and tires, of course, and battery, but everything is there. We get the stickers ordered for the rear now, and just to finish it up, I might need a handbrake cable. But anyway, the majority of the play was coming from them shock assemblies. There was play in the triple tree and the bearings there, so they're done, serviced, and 2 front wheel bearings were gone. So we got all that done. And like I say, I was just waiting for these parts. So on to the hack. I just replaced one side just to see if it was going to be satisfactory, and I tell you, it must be small minds. Small things amuse small minds, because that I got a rather good kick out of that compared to what it was worth, and hopefully you will too when you see what I came up with here. But anyway, that's all brand new. You can still get them OEM. That is the big red shock boot. And I still got the original clips here. So that's installed. And I'm not sure if you can see, but there is zero play from that shock assembly to the lower part of the shock, we'll say. Before I could keep you know, this would be all stationary here, because this is where it overlaps here to here probably, and this here section would come out there like that. It's horrible, right? But anyway, on to the bench. So I went ahead and installed one just so I can show you here a little bit in depth of what I was doing with the other one. Here's the other tube. And I'm just going to show you. Okay, so there's a collar goes in the upper part, and then if you can see, there's another Teflon bushing. It's called distance distance collar. This inner one here. That one is 3 inches long. So he probably comes down to about the mounting hole there for your brake drum. There is another one down at the bottom, but it don't serve much function. The only function it do serve is when the shock assembly fully compresses. It's like a guide, so I don't see the point of replacing it. Now, as of now, you can still get these the top bushings, but of course, you cannot get the distance collar, which is the main factor of the play. It's hard to see there, but there's a nice bit of wear on it. It's probably within, oh my, within 1/2 of an inch. Just enough to get that, because the further that extends, the more play you're going to get. To like a telescopic pipe, if it's fully compressed, you're not getting no play. But when you fully extend it, you know, you're adding on so much play for every centimeter or inch. So we went around, instead of welding that rear or front end on, or instead of ordering old stuff on eBay, which is a great help, but it comes and is worse, same as this is, or you know, it's all across the board. These machines are pretty much the same. And what people are doing, they're opting out, which is fine. They're opting out putting a 200M front end, which has several negative effects. It well, it means you got to scrap another machine, which is I'm for saving them rather than scrapping them. But we can't rebuild them without people scrapping them, so it's a positive and negative. But the most negative part would be if you're buying a 200M front end, or if you're scrapping a 200M to put the 200M front shock assembly on this gooseneck and triple tree. This is all these brackets don't come on the 200M for your rack or your headlight or your case. So they got to be grinded down, cut off, put on your 200M front end, repaint it. It just opens up a can of worms, and that's the first thing someone's going to say. Oh, well, that's not original to the bike, so it's pretty much a hybrid. It's not a big red no more. It's a 200M / big red. But anyway, functionality is the whole point. And this one, I want it to be stock as more as possible. So, okay, we went to the hardware stores. We went to all the shops out there and the people and the connections, and we went to Carcass. We went to automotive shops and looking for some sort of conduit pipe, bushing, you know, that's gonna take up for the play. This one you can notice is worn on the edges. So yeah, looking for something now of an 1/8 of an inch to take up that play. And look what we found. The hack of all hacks. That, my friends, is a rather cheap and abundant. It's just a connector between your average household sink that goes down into your drain pipe. You can get the plastic ones, right? $3.59. And if you notice, sorry about the focus here, that is the exact thickness that we're looking for. Now, I opted out not to use these because you're going to get wear, right? So, this brass, man, is tailor-made. You can see the thickness on that. That's the exact amount of wear is what we need to put that front end back in spec. So what we're going to do here now, it is possible to do this without spending any money on these upper collars. which I'll show you now in 2 different ways. But you just take this guy here. Check that out. The lip on it is going to go down and rest on top of that bushing where the factory one would go. This little lip. Bangle. Then you take your new bushing, which I'll use an old one now, just to show you. Now maybe I'll open it. Take your new bushing. There's also a circlip that goes in there too, so I'll show you how that goes on there. But this is not a very hard fix. And when you get all the grease out and get it cleaned up half decent, and you manage to get it all apart. Okay, this is your new collar. The tapered end goes up. See the tapered end up? Yeah. This is going to serve 2 functions. It's going to keep that brass bushing in place, and it's going to take up for the play you're getting on your front upper part of your shock, right? So I gotta clean that up yet, but I'll put this one in for now. So that was going to go down on top of that, on top of your brass fitting, and it doesn't affect it actually makes a tighter fit than it was on factory, from factory. And your little Fratini clip now is going to go up in this upper surface here, which got to be cleaned up. It locks that in, locks your Teflon bushing in, locks your brass bushing in, and man, you're off to the races, right? So, $8. Yeah. What you might have to do, depending on the amount of wear inside here, and how much rust or corrosion, or after you got your mating surface all cleaned up here, you can see this one is pretty good, right? You might have to take your angle grinder with the thinnest disc possible and just rip them straight down through, so you expand just enough to fit over this pipe and go inside your lower shock, your lower arm assembly. So I was telling you about, there's a way that you can do it without buying these. That would remedy at least, I'd say at least 75% better than what it was before you took it apart. So you're just going to slide this one in. And then, instead of put this one in between, you're going to put it right on top. Because, like you say, 3 inches, that inner distance collar comes down 3 inches from here. And your brass bushing is 6 inches. So that's going to take up a whole lot of lateral play time this goes down, sits. So it doesn't really matter if you're going up or down. So if you put it on top instead of it on the bottom, check that out. Of course, I guess it's got to be tapped down now. Got to be cleaned up and tapped down. That should come down just enough to get your little retainer clip in. But last chance if you got to take a little bit off here, just to make it sit, and it's actually more rigid than it was from the factory. And you're eliminating all that play right on down to your lower see, goes right on down. If I can get the focus here, goes right on down to the lower part of your tube. So that's what we got for a hack. You know, you can, a lot of convenience stores, hardware stores, local like stores, convenience stores, stocks, that stuff. So that done a world of difference for the sake of less than $20. and a tube of hard grease, you know, whatever, if you want to factor everything in. But that machine's ready to go again. I literally took me 10 minutes to put that back in, put that bushing in, and lube it up. So I hope, I've seen a lot of questions online, stuff about this. So hopefully this could help someone out there that wants to use the original front end and wants to save the hassle and the headache from trying to find another front end and taking it all apart. Because I don't know about you guys, but I don't look forward to dropping these front ends, especially with all the ball bearings in there that comes out on the floor. Taking it apart is easy. Getting it back, different story. But anyway, it saves you from cutting and grinding. And I'll do a video, because we're almost finished this machine now. So I'll get a final video and I'll show you with the brake applied, how much play is actually there. There's none here now. The front end is moving now because, look, solid. This just clanging up here. Yeah. And they're not hard to come apart. Like you say, there's a 14mm crown nut on the bottom. And you got a bolt coming across here under your shock boot. And that just literally falls on the floor. So if there's nothing wrong with your shock assembly. I took apart one the other day and the rod was sheared off. And sometimes you get a spring broke or whatever, right? Just take this out, clean this up. It's a good idea to put a new retainer on the bottom. See that silver piece? Now that is, if you want to know what that is, fits in there perfect. Off a Toyota Echo front stabilizer links. It comes with 4 or 5 of them. Perfect size. 2002 Echo, I think, or whatever, same size. Yeah, this is your regular stabilizer link. Comes with all these different types of retainers. Great for this stuff. This is the old one, rusted off, and then the shock let go. So there you are, guys. Comment, reply, any questions, I'll answer them. But this is just simple man's fix to get somebody back on the road again. And I hope you enjoyed. We'll get another video now when we're finished, and hopefully go for a little run around. Thanks for watching. Over and out.